Welcome to the Mussar video blog. We've been reading for the past number of weeks about the story of the Jews in Egypt and the Exodus from Egypt. And we know that there were many incredible miracles that transpired. And we speak about them in the Seder, in the Haggadah, and we talk about the incredible, amazing, fantastic, spectacular things that God did for the Jewish people, and all the kindnesses and all the benevolence that He bestowed upon them. But of course there's a question that He took us out of that oppression, of our downtrodden state. But if we look earlier in the Torah, we see that this was part of the plan, that God had decreed that we should be enslaved and be oppressed by these people. So it's great that He took us out and did these wonderful things, but He also put us into it. So this is something that requires a lot of discussion. But one thing we could say is, and it's clear, that it's part of the process of salvation that we should be in a state where we are at rock bottom. That was part of it. It was important for us to reach a rock bottom state in order that when we would come out of it, we'd have a greater appreciation for where we were at and what was given to us, and that our values would be in the right place. And we, on personal levels, many of us have experienced such a phenomenon. Now, people that are in such a downtrodden state and come out of it have an idea, have a recognition of what's really important. People that have these so-called first world problems sometimes forget about what's really a value that's worth paying attention to and what's just extravagances. I recently heard from a friend of mine who spoke about his father who was in a concentration camp, and his father said that you hear the stories about the Holocaust and you read about them and you see films, but one thing you don't appreciate that you can't get from all this is that we were starving all the time. All we could think about, we were totally fixated. Give me food, I just need anything to eat. I'm so starved. You have no idea what it was like. So when he came to Canada and he sees Canadians are being picky about the food that they have, I don't want to eat it, it doesn't taste just the way I want it. And he said, what the heck, it's food. Just eat it. It's food. He had an appreciation of what's really important. Now, it's not to say that we should eat food that doesn't taste good, and it's not to say that we shouldn't try to have nice things in our life. That's okay. But if we don't get it, we have to recognize it's not really that important. That there are things in life that are important, but a lot of these extravagances, these extra things, they're not that important. They're nice to have, but if you don't have it, it's not that important. So we could take a lesson from the Exodus from Egypt to our own lives and to really take stock and ask ourselves, this thing that I'm getting upset about, is it really that important? Oftentimes, it's not. It's good to have things in the right perspective. It's good to remember that rock bottom state and to really appreciate all the good that we have, and then if it doesn't always work out the way you want it, not that important. We want to have rock bottom values. See you next time.